Hello, everybody. So, fuck the intro. I just want to tell you guys that I do have a lot of Degrassi content coming out, so just be prepared. But I was sitting back. No. Actually, no, I wasn't sitting back. I was just thinking today, like out of the blue, that whenever I watch season 14 for Degrassi, it pisses me off how Degrassi really fumbled Frankie and Winston's relationship. Because if we're going to be 100, they should have been in game. I actually liked Frankie and Winston. And I wish we would have gotten to see more of their relationship once they did get together. Because for what we saw through the 13 is that Frankie's kind of always had a crush on Winston. Like I said, Winston kind of grew up with the Hollingsworths. So that's why that's why it always fucked me up that as close as Winston was to the Hollingsworth, why didn't we ever get to know anything about Winston? Like, to this day, that fucks with me so bad because it's like, they didn't do shit with Winston. He was just Miles' sidekick, because I can't even sit here and call that a true, genuine friendship. As much as I want to, okay, for Miles and Winston to be close, to be as close as they've been because apparently they've been close since, man, motherfucking diaper days. Like, apparently Miles and Winston family go way back to knowing each other. But in the show, it's kind of like they want you to guess that by when they say, oh, I've known Winston since he's been in diapers. So it's like, okay, where's Winston's parents? Because it's very much give. Does he live with the Hollingsworths? Because what's up? Like, I don't know. I just feel like Winston is definitely a character I feel like I would have grew to really care more for had he just got a little bit more material. I mean, like, damn, I see if you can't give him the next generation because you have your characters that you done already picked from a hat. But next class, at this point, there's just no excuses. Winston didn't do anything. Nothing. I just really hate that for Winston. And honestly, I think the reason why is because in this class, I really think Winston and Frankie were supposed to be in game, but I think the writers hit a curveball and put Frankie with Jonah to piss us off. Well, honestly, I feel like in this class probably would have been the perfect. But here's my thing, and this is why I say that I feel like they fumbled Winston and Frankie's relationship, because when I watched season 14, when I watched Frankie and Winston's build up, you know, Frankie telling Winston she liked him and everything like that, and then finally becoming official, it was like, okay, Winston and Frankie, I actually can see that it's giving cute, it's giving like nerdy couple, whatnot, you feel me? But off top, when they put Frankie and Winston together, here's why it fucked with me. Because watching Degrassi Next Generation, you didn't know anything about Winston, so it was kind of like, okay, he's just a love interest. And then Frankie was like a character they would do something good with, then fumble. Like, Frankie really is a character that was fumbled really bad in Degrassi. And I know she was by just for what I see in this class, she was fumbled really, really hard. And like I told my sister, watching Frankie in season 13, season 14, watching what I see with her in this class, Frankie without a doubt should have been, if not, the next Degrassi It Girl. She should have been the next Degrassi It Girl. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Like, going into next class, we shouldn't still be giving Maya and Zoe the only ones as far as the girls screen time. Let them other bitches shine. Yeah, Frankie got storylines, but the only thing she would ever get as far as storylines was relationships. She was very male-centered. So it's like, I feel like they really could have broke out of that when she broke up with Winston. When she broke up with Winston, or when her and Winston broke up, they should have never threw her another relationship with Jonah. Like, Frankie and Jonah was really unnecessary. They have no chemistry. Their chemistry is like sugar. Like, they have no chemistry. Like, I'd have been okay with if, and this is what I'm talking about, character destruction, not doing enough. I would have been okay with if Frankie and Jonah were were fucking around. Like, once Frankie and Winston broke up at the end of season 14, Frankie goes into a deep depression state by feeling alone and just feeling like nobody understands how hard her and Winston's breakup really took a toll on her. I feel like Frankie being in that deep depression state and just doing anything trying to make her feel anything as far as like just feeling numb due to her breakup. I think introducing Jonah as this bad boy who can make her live on the edgy side and make her, unpredictability, and then that he into drinking and drugs, just a really bad influence. And he started to put that on Frankie that she just needs to learn how to let go and not worry so much about life. I would have been okay with if that was a storyline, but doing a whole storyline where Frankie actually falls for this guy and her and Frankie and Jordan were like literally a couple all the way to season 3 and they didn't break up officially until season 3. Really? Frankie and Jonah, again, I don't ship them. I don't like the relationship. I don't like Jonah. I don't think he was the best match for Frankie because I feel like Jonah was very manipulative and very gaslighting. Like, he would literally do something to make Frankie upset, and then the next day he would say, I don't even know why you're so upset, or what are you so mad about? When it's like, what do you mean what I'm mad about? I told you what I was mad about. Like, he would try to gaslight and make it seem like what Frankie is mad at is little to nothing, when it's like, bitch, I don't give a fuck how big or how small the situation is, bitch, I feel some type of way, my feelings are hurt. Instead, he would say things like, oh, Frankie, you're childish, you're immature, and la 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 la. Like, how can you be with a girl for 3 seasons, but you're not ready to commit all the way? That don't even make sense. That's what I'm talking about. You're a waste of time. You're a waste of time. That's just how I feel. And I feel like, scratch Jonah and Frankie, that should have never even been a relationship. Like, again, like I said, I'd have been okay with if Jonah and Frankie was just something like fooling around, friends with benefits, because of her bad breakup with Winston. And you feel me? Then I would start, making like Frankie just go into this big ass depression state because of her breakup with Winston. And I would do something where Winston is starting to see changes in Frankie's behavior and starting to become worried, and you could do something where Frankie feels like, oh, now you care, now you see that I'm not as attentive in class, or when I come to class I seem either really out of it, to where now that has your attention. Now you want to talk to me, but you never want to talk to me when it came to talking about the breakup, things of that nature. Like, they could have really made Frankie another it girl. Like, I feel like in next class, she should have been their next it girl, who should have been getting on the storylines. But instead, they weren't ready to embrace the new generation. So due to that, all the new generation characters, they failed of lack of interest. Due to the writers feel like, no, we still want to do storylines with Maya. We still want to do storylines with Zoe, which is like, that's fine. Those are my girls. I like Zoe. I love Maya. Those are my girls. You feel me? This is, you gotta write the storylines for them as far as their exit off the show. Cool. But what about the other girls? What about the other guys who still ain't got no type of storyline at all? And here we are next class, like Zig. Still ain't got no storyline. Tiny, Winston, Hunter. Like, Hunter ain't really getting no storylines up until season 2, and then after that, he was just in this in and out relationship with, he was in a relationship with Yao. And you know what's so crazy? Because I don't think I mentioned it in Yao and Hunter's relationship when I say I think it was unnecessary. But going back and watching this class, and specifically season 3, Hunter was a really bad boyfriend to Yao. Like, one of the main things I don't like in that season is that how they try to make it seem like Yao is ugly because she doesn't like to wear makeup or wear lipstick or lip gloss. Like, they try to make it seem like she was ugly as fuck, and I didn't like that because, Hunter, you should be backing your girlfriend up and be telling her that you should have told her she didn't need to be on no motherfucking webcam wearing makeup to make herself be beautiful. when you've never complained about her never wearing makeup or having her nails painted before, now all of a sudden when your friend bring it up, it's an issue. And then when they put Lola on this show, everyone is drawn to her because Lola's so beautiful, and to them she's girly, like she's feminine. Where Yao either comes off more like boyish, tomboy, because all she have is guy friends. But it's like Hunter didn't even like Yao for real like that. He just liked the fact that that was the only girl he's ever really known. So to him, it made sense for them to date. But he treated her like shit. He never stuck up for her. He lied about Lola to get her kicked off the webcam due to him getting a boner off of her because he was always attracted to Lola. And like I said, when I do watch it, Lola and Hunter probably would have been interested as a couple. I'm not even gonna lie, but again, that's weird in of itself due to the fact that Lola was fucking around with Miles. But then again, look at all this drama that could have been right there. Lola fucking around with Miles, and then him using her, and then going back to Tristan would probably make her wanted to use Hunter to get some jealousy and rise out of Miles. Like, bro, like, I just be thinking of shit from the top of my head and just be thinking how good this shit would really be. Like, oh, people would be like, oh, use this relationship. A relationship that would mean something for drama, not a relationship you could just put together randomly and have it drag out for 3 to 4 or 5 episodes. Like, it would have done something for a plot, for a story. You feel me? But this ain't about Hunter and Yao. This is about Winston and Frankie's relationship and how I feel like Degrassi really fumbled their relationship. But so, like I was saying, season 13, you get the whole build up with Frankie and Winston and whatnot. And like I said, in season 14, you don't really get to see much of their relationship as much as I wish I would have. And like I said, the first few things that already fucks Winston and Frankie's relationship up is due to the fact that their lack of character development. Like, we didn't really know too much about Frankie other than that in season 14. Like, what the fuck is Frankie's passion? What does she want to do when she graduates high school? What is she interested in? Like, we didn't know anything about Frankie other than that Frankie was definitely insecure. And this is why I keep saying she should have had storylines about peer pressure, because in season 13 there was a storyline where she wanted to do a runway on the model show, but I think they told her no. And she was telling Miles that she don't like that she get picked on or judged for being a rich white girl with a dad who has money. And Miles basically telling her that it doesn't matter what you have or what you don't have, people are going to always find a reason to say something about you. So that conversation always sticks out to me, that Frankie was a person who was very insecure and always wanted to belong. So in some aspect of that, you could say she's a tad bit of a follower, because you can say that she is a tad bit of a follower. And I'm not going to lie, there was a time where when I would watch The Degrassi Next Generation, I kind of disliked Frankie. And it really was because she victim blamed Zoe. I didn't fuck with that. To where, me being who I am, I turned around and said that Frankie deserved what happened to her in season 14 as far as the Degrassi news were concerned. She didn't deserve that. I was just pissed that she would really victim blame Zoe, someone at that time who was generally really was her friend, or who needed someone to stick up for her. You would victim blame her in a time that's just really bad. Where, no, you would victim blame her when it's like she shouldn't be victim blamed, period. Just because Zoe was walking around a party in her bikinis, that didn't mean she asked to have. She didn't ask for what had happened to her later that night. She didn't. So there was a time when I would watch Degrassi where I literally could not stand Frankie due to that. But like I said, that's why I said I feel like they should have given Frankie more peer pressure storylines, because she wanted to belong, she wanted to fit in, and she was a follower because she was just like following Zoe around in season 13 as far as like being someone that was in her posse. And then in season 14, she was on this cheer squad, whatever the fuck they call the Degrassi cheerleader team. She was really the one who put it inside of Zoe's head that they should do Degrassi news due to guys being like disgusting. So I don't know if the Degrassi News was trying to be like this feminist awoken type thing where it's like, oh, men are disgusting, men are really the sexual predators, they get away with so much stuff, why girls are either called sluts, too fast, all that nature because they have sex or they're sexual or whatever. Frankie was the one who brought the conversation up due to her having an argument with her mom, where her mom felt like Winston shouldn't be allowed in her room anymore due to him having his shirt off when she came up there and telling Frankie that she don't think it's good for her to be alone with her boyfriend due to the fact that she could get pregnant. And Frankie told her mom that she should trust her more, like she does whatever, whenever her mom and dad ask her to do something as far as like campaign stuff and be good in the public, Frankie does that. Whenever they ask her to do something as far as like representing the campaign, Frankie does that. You feel me? She does have good grades. She goes to school on time. She doesn't act out. She's not bad at all. So it's like for you to not have trust in her, and it's like it's fucking Winston out of all people. You know what I'm saying? Not saying he's not going to eventually want sex, but it's like it's fucking Winston. Like y'all literally grew up with Winston, so it's like what's the issue with him being upstairs in her room? I mean, like him having history with y'all family, you should be not so worried. You feel me? And I feel where Frankie was coming from because it's just a double standard in society. Oh, if you're a woman and you're too sexual, you're a slut. But if you're not sexual, then you're weird. But a guy could get a big ass applause for having 500 bodies, and yet let a woman say they got the same body count as him, and they'll be identified as a slut. It's just crazy. So Frankie wasn't wrong when she said it's a double standard, but she did do the one nude in Degrassi News, and then she just figured out that wasn't for her. So my thing is that in season 14 specifically is where they fumble Frankie and Winston's relationship, because like I said, in season 13 you didn't really get to see much of their relationship. You just got to see their build up and once they got together, that and that. But in season 14 they didn't have as much screen time, they didn't have a lot of storylines together, and that's always kind of been like an issue for me as far as the new couples and the new generation of Degrassi. Like it was just like it was more passion into building the couple up than actually writing story, like instead of writing an actual love story. But even though the writers didn't really give Winston and Frankie the love story I feel like they should have gotten in the show, I still ship them because I feel like they should have been in game, because to me you had already fucked up the ship or whatever by Frankie and Winston not having much character interesting for, like, not having much character development to be interesting in them. All you know is that Frankie's from a very rich, wealthy family. Her dad is running for mayor. You feel me? And I definitely feel like Frankie had daddy issues. That's just me. Like when I watched season 14 specifically, like when her dad tried to get her to take the rap for the whole Degrassi News angle, and he never apologized, and he just tried to like throw jewelry in her face. It very much gave that Frankie had daddy issues, because she literally said, I think in Next Generation or Next Class, that their dad not being around as much is really the main reason why they all have relationship issues. Miles, Hunter, Frankie, their parents, I can't really explain it. Their dad is just a very complicated guy. So it makes sense for Miles, Frankie, and Hunter to have dysfunctional relationships, because they have never seen that positive male figure to a woman, like how he's supposed to treat a woman, things of that nature. So it makes sense. So to me, I definitely feel like Frankie had daddy issues. But in season 14, you lose me when you have Winston kiss Lola for absolutely no reason, due to her like filling this nigga ego up by telling him he's not a loser, he's not ugly, he's actually kind of adorable. And you make Winston kiss Lola, and not only that, he kisses Lola, but he tells her to never say nothing about it to Frankie. So he lies, and he turns around and ends up being like any other guy who cheats and then tries to cover it up. But Winston's a fucking hypocrite, because my thing is like, why even do the Winston and Lola? Why do that? If you weren't going to do something where you turn into a relationship or whatnot, why even do it? Like, it was just dumb as fuck. And Frankie and Winston weren't even broken for that long. So for you to finally, they weren't even broken for that long. So to do a fucking plot where you break them up for a short period of time, and then when you do the school play, they get back together. It's like, what the fuck was the point of the breakup? Like, I feel bad for Frankie, because it's like, she didn't deserve that. Because it's like, Winston, you kissed her, right? Tell the truth. Like, it was fucked up that Lola had to be the one to tell the truth, and that Winston was mad at Lola for saying something to Frankie, when it's like, it really should have been you. And then, I don't like how he went off on Frankie when he talked about, you're hot and cold, you give me mixed signals, you're acting like a complete psychopath, because you want me to screw up again by kissing Lola. And Frankie said, I just want to make sure that you don't cheat on me again. And he said, if you can't trust me, then don't be with me. But he said that at least communicate with me, and It's like, you expect me to just trust you after you literally kissed my friend when she boosted your motherfucking ego, and then you have the nerve to stand here and tell me I don't have the right to be upset, and that me giving you hot and cold signals is not cool. Yeah, nigga, I'm fucking with your feelings, because that's how you did me. Fuck is you talking about? I did not like how the way Winston went off on her, because I thought it was like hypocritical. It was like bitch ass shit, because it's like, how can you be mad at how can you be mad that she's being hesitated? No, how can you be mad that she is hesitated on not taking you back after you cheated and then try to cover it up? What sense does that make? What century are we living in to where that makes sense? Huh? Tell me. But she eventually does take Winston back. Then the whole Summer Girl episode, that bullshit happened. She ended up catching feelings for the dude that was working at the law firm, to where she ended up giving this nigga so much money to where she didn't tell Winston. Winston is trying to understand why the fuck would Frankie give so much money to a guy that she doesn't know. And he just came out and said, you like him, Frankie. And she said that she's not sure, and he said it's not a no. And Winston asked Frankie, does she like the guy more than him? And she said she doesn't know. And he told Frankie that he appreciates that she was honest. So the next day at the beach, Frankie was like, can they talk? He said, talk about what? She said, the dude, I don't know his name, Luke, I think that's the nigga name at the farm. She said, Luke is a drunk, but you're not. And I was wondering if you would give me another chance. He said, another chance at what, Frankie? She said, us. He said, there is no us. He said, you cheated. Frankie was like, it ain't like I kissed him or nothing. He said, no. He said, what you did was way worse. Not with your lips. That is so, like, that, y'all have no idea how bad that pissed me off, because it's like, are you kidding me? Like, no. You serious? Like, are you, like, you for real? Like, was he really trying to compare and contrast? Oh, that's way worse than what I did? Nigga, are you serious? Like, are you, like, you serious? Like, for real? Frankie, what she did was bad. But I'm not going to say it was as bad, because her and Winston both cheated. Winston cheated physically by kissing Lola. Frankie cheated emotionally. Like, she was able to talk to the guy about different things, and they connected on more of a deeper level. But he only was using Frankie for money. Like, that's the reason why he found so much of an interest in her. So for Winston to tell Frankie, oh, what you did was way worse because I never would have done what you did. I might have kissed someone, but I would never have grew to like this person, or it's just like, so there's a line on how far cheating is. So kissing someone isn't cheating, but having an emotional connection with someone that's not your partner is cheating. It's both cheating. If you put your lips with somebody else that ain't me, it's cheating, nigga. I don't care. So that pissed me off that Winston was trying to compare and contrast his cheating to Frankie and saying, oh, compared to what she did, what I did was small. What she did was way bigger than that. And it pissed me off that he couldn't give her a second chance, but she couldn't wait to give him a second chance after what he did. It just shows double standard. A guy does not like when it's done to them, but what Frankie did wasn't intentional. She didn't think when she got to know this guy at her job more and more that she would end up liking him. Like, to me, it was like a genuine friendship up until when his girlfriend went missing and they faked the kidnapping, and he was telling Frankie these sob stories and nah. That's why she starting to like him, because it was like she was seeing a different side of him. So to me, it's like, Winston, you're a fake ass bitch. You are a dirty down bitch, because how dare you not try to see her side when she let you talk, let you speak when you spoke about your behalf. Like, that shit weak and corny to me. And then in the next class, him and Frankie don't talk about anything that happened in season 14 as if none of it happened. They don't talk about nothing. They don't even talk about why they broke up. They just make it seem like they broke up. No, tell the truth. Y'all broke up over that nigga. Like, they don't even bring up the reason why they broke up. You just randomly see Winston trying to get Frankie back. And you see at first Frankie wanted to be with Winston, but then she didn't. Frankie is very indecisive. That I would say that's one thing about her. She's very indecisive. So I can see why when she told Winston very last minute of the dance, I don't think I should go with you, that he said that any guy who's dealing with you is going to need it because your indecisiveness is out of control. If Frankie already knew that she already liked Jonah, why the fuck would you say yes when Winston asked you out to the dance and then get mad because he catch the attitude? Don't even make sense. You just let me spend a lot of money on a suit that I'm not wearing. You let me spend a lot of money on a charm bracelet that you're not even finna wear. Like, bitch, you damn right I'm motherfucking mad. I just spent a lot of money on this fit that I'm not even wearing to the motherfucking school dance. Are you kidding me? I thought it was wrong that Frankie said yes to him for going out to the dance just to turn around and say, no, I don't want to go with you anymore, when she already knew that she liked somebody else. You feel me? Like, Winston's whole grand gesture was cute. Like, he got her favorite animal to ask her out to the dance. Frankie's favorite animal is a goat. Like, I just feel like Winston and Frankie should have been in game. Like, I feel like had they went to the dance and just try to talk about things and try to get slow, they would have been to a fresh start to where they could get back together. Like, I feel like Winston and Frankie should have been in game because, as you can see, Winston being in a relationship with Frankie was like the closest thing to him having screen time, things like that. Once him and Frankie broke up, he didn't get no screen time for real. Hell, he barely had lines. What lines did he say? What lines? He barely said. Man, Winston was like Meg from Family Guy. Half of the time when Meg is on screen, she don't say a fucking word. And I don't have an issue with it. I see why now she shut the fuck up. I see why now Huey is so quiet from the Boondocks. I see why Fred is so quiet from Phineas and Ferb. Ferb. I said Fred. I see why Ferb is so quiet from Phineas and Ferb. It ain't shit to talk about. Nigga, I'ma just be quiet. You feel me? I'ma just sit back, chill, and be quiet. But my thing is that Degrassi don't execute their storylines all the way. Like, they don't write them to where we get a conclusion. And it's not with all the storylines, it's just a few. And I feel like specifically now when I watch the show, it's more like with their love stories as far as the relationships. Like, they're not consistent. Like, Frankie and Winston's relationship is not consistent due to the fact that you just put them together and you never gave their relationship any ounce of screen time. You never gave them any storylines to where I could actually see more of them. Because even though they didn't get a lot of screen time, I did like what I did see from them. You feel me? Like, I just wish that they would have done more for their relationship. Like, it sucks that they didn't do a lot for their relationship to the point where I feel like they deserved it. Like, it just rubbed me the wrong way. Like, as much as I fuck with Degrassi, they definitely did fumbled some storylines, fumbled some relationships. Like, Drew and Bianca is one that I feel like they fumbled. Drew and Bianca should have been in game. Shauna and Emma is another one. They fumbled them bad. Winston and Frankie is one too. They fumbled them. Grace and Zoe fumbled. Hell, Lola and Miles being in a relationship, they fumbled that too. They just fumbled a lot of stories by not executing them well. And I feel like for Frankie and Winston's relationship specifically, I think I'm gonna have to blame that on season 14 and season 14 of Degrassi specifically, because I realized when you watch season 14 for Degrassi and then you watch Next Class, nothing from season 14 is ever brought up. Like, they never bring up the Degrassi nudes. They never bring up Maya and Zoe's beef. Hell, the people from the Next Generation and Next Class don't even interact. It's like as if they're all going to school with strangers, like they don't know them. Like, why didn't we see Maya and Miles interact? They're all in the same grade. Hell, they all got the same class. So why the fuck did they not interact? It was like it's like they did the Degrassi Next Generation on us, where Emma and Manny and them didn't really interact with Paige in their class for real, or where Paige and her class didn't interact with Manny and them all that much. They only interacted with their Pacific grade. But in that class, that's stupid, because Maya, Miles, and Zig and all of them were all in the same grade. Shay, Frankie, and Lola were sophomores, so they kind of just stayed talkative within each other. I never saw Shay have a screen. I never, like, you feel me? Like Lola, Zoe, I don't ever see her talk to Miles. I don't ever see her talk to Zig. Like, they split them up. Like, Next Class just feels like a whole different universe because of how everything is directed and written. Like, it don't make sense. Like, they don't talk about anything from season 14. They don't talk about anything from season 14. They don't talk about anything that happened in season 13. Like, why is it the Miles and Zig beef brought up? How come we never see if them niggas became cool? Now, like, nothing I wanted to see in Next Class I saw due to the 10-minute episodes. Due to them only having 10 episodes, due to the smaller time run in Next Class. Like, Next Class is really fucking, it's horrible. Like, I don't get when people say it's not all that bad. It's bad. Like, it's not good. It's not watchable. I feel like if you're going to watch Next Class, you should only watch it once and make sure you pay attention to everything. I done made like 2 or 3 videos, I believe so, on why Next Class is a failure. I got like a part 1 or part 2 video, because it's just bad. And it's like the more and more I watch Next Class, I see more weaknesses, more flaws than like things I like. There's like a few things I like in Next Class, but not really a lot if you want me to be G with you. But I ain't gonna get into all that right now. This is about Frankie and Winston, and I think this video is about done, because I ain't really have too much to say. I just feel like the writers really fumbled Frankie and Winston's relationship. I feel like they really could have done more, as far as I'm concerned. Doing what they did with them in season 14 was stupid. Winston should never have kissed Lola. Him and Frankie should have been together up until the whole Luke shit, or whatever that nigga name is, to where you break them up at the end of season 14, to where, like I said in Next Class, you write the storyline with Frankie, getting into peer pressure, or she finds an interest in Jonah due to her being in a deep depression state over her breakup with Winston, to where she's having sex with him and, drinking and doing drugs, and come to school where she's completely out of it. Like, her and Miles wouldn't have had the same storyline in season 1, but he wouldn't have been the only Hollingsworth who would have gotten all the attention. Because I realized Miles had a storyline in season 1. Hunter had a really good storyline in season 2 when it came to him hurting himself or wanting to hurt others due to his depression. being filled with so much anger. Like, the actor who played Hunter did a really good job. Frankie didn't get a storyline at all. She didn't get a storyline about her breakup with Winston. She didn't get a storyline about her dad not being in her life, him and the mom separating, and things like that. They didn't do a storyline about how she felt about the dad coming home. Like, they didn't give Frankie anything. Like, how is it that Miles and Hunter got storylines from seasons 1 and season 2, where Frankie was just, her only storylines is season, well, no, I'm wrong. She had the storyline season 2 about the whole racism plot, but that plot was written so horrible to the point where it's like, to say it like this in a short sentence is that Frankie is too old to not know what racism is. Like, it's just them. Like, Degrassi Next Class came out in 2016, I believe. Bitch, you know what racism is. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe they didn't want to talk about it as much because they didn't probably want to get controversy. I'm not sure, but I just feel like the whole racism storyline in season 2 was written really bad. And I feel like after that, Frankie was just very much relationship centered. Like, she was with Jonah, she ain't, they arguing, they not, they getting along, they not. Like, it was just a whole lot of will they, won't they, and I kind of was like over it. I never really wanted them to be together to begin with. I never shipped them. I never been a fan of them. So, yes, I feel like the writers fumbled Frankie and Winston's relationship really, really bad. I actually loved them, and I actually wanted to see them, you know, eventually, you know, become mature and actually get their relationship right on track and be in game. But unfortunately, you can't always get what you want. But I can't wait to talk about Frankie's character in a future video because I feel like I'm going to have a lot to say once I eventually do get to her character, because I want to rewatch her character journey before I make a video about her character, because I just want to see like what her journey was like, because I really don't remember it all that well, because I know for a fact in season 13 she didn't really do much. So with that being said, because this video is already 37 minutes, as always, it is nice talking to you guys, and catch you guys in my next video.